So in Portland, things are really bad. They are now in day 56 of rolling rioting. Protesters are breaking down barriers. They're approaching the cops wearing bicycle helmets and tear gas masks. And they're using umbrellas and wood barriers to shield themselves from the cops so that people can't see them. They're vandalizing the federal courthouse. Okay, does this look like a peaceful protest to you? This looks like a riot, because that's what it is. It is a riot. And just because you have some moron in the back of the crowd holding up a group of balloons does not mean that this is happy-dappy-do time. And if you could see the footage, what you would see is graffiti all over the place. You can see that the federal building has been completely defaced, and people have been injured in Portland as well. Okay, overnight, Portland rioters set fire to the courthouse as well. That was another thing that they did. There's footage of them doing so, the Portland rioters. The police yesterday, right? The police who are run by Mayor Ted Wheeler over there. The police, there's footage of them warning the crowd that they're going to have to use tear gas if they don't disperse.
Caused another level of anger on top of it. So I believe there's a layer of that now mixed in with the core of the message, which is about Black Lives Matter.
Well, I mean, the federal law enforcement
had taken an explosive. I had been hit with a full beer can, a rock in my chest, frozen water bottle had hit me. Having people tell you, what to do with your life, that you need to quit your job, that you need to, you're hurting your community, but they're not even part of the community. And once again, you as a privileged white person telling someone of color what to do with their life. And you, absolutely, and you don't even know what I've dealt with, what these white officers that you're screaming at, you don't know them. You don't know anything about them. It says something when you're at a Black Lives Matter protest, you have more minorities on the police side than you have in a violent crowd. And you have white people screaming at black officers. I've been called on calls the N-word. I don't know, I can't even count.
And I saw this image of, I think it's 4 officers with this huge explosive firework, like one of the big ones, exploding in the midst of our officers. And when I first saw it, I cried because I thought, thank God nobody died. And then I found out who some of the officers were, and one was you, and one was one of our sergeants, who is also African American. And to me, that image stood out because the demonstrations are for Black Lives Matter, and 2 of my colleagues who are African Americans are standing there and nearly died.
When I had that explosive thrown at me, I saw it. I thought it was maybe just like a little firework or something like that, and I realized something was wrong. And I didn't. You see a flash? I didn't even see a flash. I just felt it, and it was hot, and I felt tingling in my fingertips. It was a very powerful blast. And to think that someone has that much anger and hatred, they don't even know someone, to throw something like that and just, not care. It's sad. It really is. But yeah, it went off, and all I remember was feeling it. And then I felt a fire medic. Their jobs are, if we catch on fire, they grab us by our shoulders and pull us back, and they'll put us out. And all we're supposed to do is cover our face, keep our airway open in case we do catch on fire. And I felt that blast. I had a gas mask on, so I couldn't see that well, and just felt these hands grab my shoulder. And I was like, oh, I'm hurt. I don't even know. I don't even know what just happened. I must be messed up. And they said that they were 10 feet behind me and felt the blast. And they knew, they just didn't know what had happened to me. And I feel lucky that I didn't get seriously injured. But, I was told that people were taping marbles and rocks to these explosives. And so you just don't know what it is that you're going into when these things are flying at you in the air. It's some, nights where it's dark, you can't see what's coming at you and what it is. Is it a rock? Is it an explosive? How long did the person hold it that it was lit, where it can just go off at any minute while you're just standing there? And I remember a night where I was holding my, I had my stick in my hand, and I was looking at one of the forensic folks mess with their camera, and this rock, a big rock just came and just hit my stick from the dark and right between us, and I'm grabbing her and pulling her back behind a car. She didn't even see it. If that had hit her in the head, that had killed her. And like I said, rocks were dark. It was dark out, and so it was truly a terrifying experience. Just like I said, just not knowing what could happen to the person next to you.
Trump said, listen, I'm tired of this. I'm tired of watching our major cities burn. I'm tired of watching 15 people shot every other day in Chicago. I'm sending the feds.
Today, I am announcing that the Department of Justice will immediately surge federal law enforcement to the city of Chicago. The FBI, ATF, DEA, U.S. Marshal Service, and Homeland Security will together be sending hundreds of skilled law enforcement officers to Chicago to help drive down violent crime. And murderers and violent criminals are breaking a wide range of federal laws. We have that. It's as wide as it can be.
So the administration has named this Operation Legend. Not like, let's just be a legend and do it, man. But it's named after an actual 4-year-old boy whose name is Legend Taliaferro, who was shot and killed while he slept in Kansas City shortly before July 4th weekend. Legend's family came to the actual unveiling of this policy. They were joined by the family of Jacques Vigil, a 55-year-old grandmother and daycare worker from Albuquerque who was murdered in her driveway during an attempted carjacking. He pointed out that they were also recognizing the tragic murder of a 14-year-old named Bernardo Jones Jr. in Chicago, who was playing basketball in a park when he was senselessly killed by gunshots that wounded 4 and killed 3 others. He says to carry out Operation Legend, federal law enforcement agencies will be committing additional resources to these cities, including resources from the FBI, the DEA, the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms, the U.S. Marshals, and the Department of Homeland Security. He says, to date, we've sent over 200 federal agents to Kansas City. They unveiled this thing earlier this month. They're just ratcheting it up now. We are directing a comparable amount to augment Chicago's existing violent crime initiatives. We are providing more than 35 agents to Albuquerque. They're also providing financial assistance to state and local law enforcement in these particular areas, and they've made $3.5 million in federal funding available to the city of Chicago to compensate local law enforcement for overtime equipment and other expenses. Okay, so this is not a violation of law, nor is it really an extension of anything that the federal government has not done before. The media, however, are treating this as this is fascism. Trump fascism was trending yesterday on Twitter. Okay, so it's not fascism when you take over an entire American city and threaten to burn everything to the ground and then scream at your mayor when he comes to talk to you about stopping it. That's not fascism. Fascism is when the federal government uses existing authority to shut down rioting, looting, and murder in its cities, apparently. And the media are just wonderful at this. So the media literally asked Trump if the reason he's doing this is to distract from COVID.